Hello and welcome to another episode of Mobile Monday, the video podcast from GodIsAGeek.com, where we take 4 mobile games and let you know if they're worth spending your hard-earned money on. I'm GodIsAGeek's deputy editor Martin Baker, and I'll be taking a look at 4 games this week. The first game that we're going to have a look at this week on Mobile Monday is Ultimate Word Search 2 Letterboxd, which might have the longest name I've ever looked at on Mobile Monday. But it's essentially a word search game, as you would expect from a title. And let's jump straight into one of the games. It's a word search game, but it's different to what most people would have expected. You expect a word search game to be on one plane. This is on 6 planes because it's the ultimate word search. It's on a cube. So you can move the cube around. It's not, the animation for it isn't great. And on a smaller device such as the iPod Touch, like what I'm using here, it can be quite difficult to press some of the words, but pressing the words is what you're supposed to do. So let's try and find some words. So let's look for some words that we might get. Polygon should be a good word to get. Let's see if we can find that. Right, okay, it's going backwards. So some of the words go round corners as well. So you press the first word and then press the last letter of the word. There we go, polygon, which, as you can see, can be quite difficult to do on the smaller screens. So the whole point, obviously it's a word search, is to collect as many words as you can, basically, before the time runs out. The time's in the top right hand corner. What makes this difficult is, like I said, is the fact that you've got to go around corners a lot of the time. So a lot of the times you can't even just... A word search is easy by like looking at a letter, looking at the first letter, then looking at the words around it to see if you can find the next letter in the sequence. This is harder, the ultimate word search, because you've got to look around those corners, as well as trying to move the block around, which again, because of what I would say is poor animation, it can be quite difficult to do, and it doesn't always do it in the way that you want it to do. Let's see if we can find another word. Look for a big word. Symmetry should be quite easy to find. You should be able to see Y's somewhere. Again, it's difficult to move things around, so let's have a look. Usually the words are based around one thing, so this is mathematics, so you can see that they're all based on one thing. Let's see if we can find something. There's an L and I there. Is that linear? That is not linear. So it would be a lot easier on a PC with a mouse, being able to move it around. And again, if the animations were a little bit better, it'd be much easier to do. But you can see how difficult it can be to find some of the words. I can't believe how difficult it is when I found polygon quite easily. What about if I just look for a Q and see if we can go for a square? Because surely if there's a Q, there's a couple of Qs there. There's not next to a U though. There, square. So, typical ways of doing a word search really, but obviously it's made a lot harder by the fact that it's on a cube. But I suppose that's it. I'll be here all day if I try and find all the words. So that's Ultimate Word Search 2. The second game in this week's Mobile Monday is, as you can see, Tito Shell, which is a puzzle game. It's kind of got elements that are similar to Cut the Rope, but the rest of the game isn't like Cut the Rope. We'll choose some of the, as you can see, I've already done quite a few of these levels, but for the purposes of example, we'll just pick one at random. So the whole point of the game is that you want to get the shell, which at this point is in more or less the centre of the screen, to Tito, who's on the left hand side. At the top right, before they run out, you can see the 3 stars. It's typical puzzle game kind of mechanics where you can get up to a maximum of 3 stars in each of the levels. In this case it's time based, so if you manage to get Tito his shell before those 3 stars have run out, which I failed to do this time because of explaining it, then you will get 3 stars for that level. So that's where the replay value comes in. You can just get 3 stars through the level, through each of the levels if you want. So the whole point is it's kind of like a physics puzzle game, a mechanical game, where you got to attach things to other things in order to get the whole contraption to work and to get the shell to Tito. So we'll attach the block to that piece, and what else can we do? We'll attach that to that. So attach that to the other, and it's pulled it up a little bit. Let's knock that down and knock the shell towards Tito. There we go. So obviously, because I was explaining the level, I didn't do that in a particularly great time, so I got no stars for that one. But let's see if we can do one of the next levels a little bit faster. Show an example of getting at least a couple of stars. So there we go. 2 stars, not too bad. Let's do another level, and then but the whole game is pretty much that. You just keep attaching things to other things until you get the shell to Tito. Obviously keep doing the level quicker if you can to get more stars. But it's a game that's full of that. It's fun. It's quite addictive to be fair. I mean, you saw earlier how many levels I'd completed, so it's worth a look at least. And that is Tito's Shell. The third game that we're going to have a look at on Mobile Monday is a similar game to a game that we looked at the other day, the Ultimate Word Search game. It's very, very similar actually, but this time it's Mahjong Deluxe Astral Planes 2. Mahjong Deluxe 2 Astral Planes, there we go. But yeah, it's same type of thing. It's in fact, let's jump into a level and I'll explain it as we're going along. See that I played a couple of levels already, so we'll go on to the third. But it's a Mahjong game that you probably played Mahjong games before. We've reviewed a couple of them on Mobile Monday. Typical stuff: score in the top centre, time, countdown that we're going to ignore while I'm explaining stuff in the top right. The quicker you complete the puzzle, the more points you get. And it's similar to Ultimate Word Search in the sense that it's on a 3D plane, not 2D. So, but it's the same, the same style of Mahjong really. So you're just matching the tiles. So we'll go see if we can match some tiles. So there's 2 bamboo things on there, and then 2 there. So same thing really. It's just the only difference this time is that you're on 3 planes instead of 2. But it's the exact same gameplay. You're just matching tiles. I think I saw that one there. It starts to get difficult in the same. You can zoom, pinch and zoom to pinch to zoom in and pinch to move your fingers together to zoom back out. But if you're on a smaller device such as an iPod Touch like I'm using here, then you can find tapping the tiles a little bit, the precision needed to do so, quite restrictive. It doesn't stop the enjoyment of the game really, and this seems a lot easier to move around than the Ultimate Word Search game did. I don't seem to have problems with navigation in this like I did in the Word Search game. But let's have a look, see what else we can get. Hopefully that matches something quickly. And then we probably won't get 3 stars, but yeah, 1 star. Because of the time limit. If you do the level within the time limit set in the top right hand corner, then obviously you get better scores. But that'll do for now. We'll do another one. We'll try and do it quicker this time. Try and do it within the time limit. Let's try and match some stuff. There we go. That one. What else is there? I think they're the same. I think I've seen them. See, that's the precision can be quite difficult at times, trying to tap on exactly the things that you need to be tapping on. What else is there? That one. Is that? Same as that? 2 bamboo shoots. What else is there? That one. Let's see if we can. Is that the same as that one? A red dragon. 2 spheres, and them 2 have to match. And we're still within the time limit, so let's see how well we did there. 2 stars. Better than we did last time though. But you can see there's plenty of levels to play. There's multiple difficulty levels, a a lot of levels within each of those difficulty levels. So if it's the type of game that you enjoy, you'll be playing it for quite a while. But if you like Mahjong, you probably enjoy it. It's like I said, the movements seem better than Ultimate Word Search. The gameplay is standard. If you like Mahjong, but just the added element of the 3 dimensions make it a little bit different, a little bit more appealing to certain people. And that's Mahjong Deluxe 2 Astral Planes. The fourth and final game on this week's Mobile Monday is Lucky Slots, which, as you can tell by the name, is a game that's all about like the one-armed bandit kind of thing, the slot machines that you see in many pubs, and take it from me, I've been in a lot of pubs. So I'll show you a game before I start talking about the main aspects of the application. You can see one of the downsides straight away is that the in-game advertising is all over the place. From the moment you open the app, you almost can't move for it asking you to buy things, to upgrade things, to do things. Even when the app's closed, you'll be getting like notifications all the time of like bonuses coming up. If you like that kind of thing, if you like in-game bonuses, and if it's a game that you're going to play daily, then it's not too bad. If it's something that you're going to play every so often, then it will keep pestering you to play, which it's not a deal breaker for some people, but for it's one of those things that people need to be aware of. So, but the game plays just like a typical bandit game, really. You press the spin button and it'll spin and let you know whether you've won anything. You can move the bets around. You can change how much you're going to bet with each spin. You can bet all of it. You can auto spin a certain amount. So if you press auto spin, it'll just keep spinning until the auto spin number is counted down to the bottom, which is something that you can do, obviously, but it's not necessarily a good thing to do, because you could find yourself with no money. It could go to the end of the scale and you'll find yourself winning on 24 out of those 24 spins, but it's a dangerous way of playing. But if you don't mind, then it's up to you. One other thing that you can see in the top left hand corner is an experience counter, like a leveling mechanic. You can see that I'm on level 3 at the minute. The experience counter goes up every time you play some games. I'm not sharing stuff. So you can level up. The more you level up, as you saw in the beginning when I chose this particular machine to play on, there are other machines. There are a selection of machines that you can play that you will unlock as you level up, basically. So the more you play, the more you level up, the more machines that you'll unlock in order to be able to play on. But I mean, it's typical if you played these type of games before, not necessarily on iOS, but if you played the actual one-armed bandit, fruit machine, slot machine, whatever you want to call them, then the idea is the same. You're just betting with it's not your money, it's the in-game money that you do start off with a certain amount. I think it's $2,000, generic currency, whatever you start out as. So you will get asked to share stuff a lot. Just dismiss that. So yeah, you start out with I think it's about $2,000, and you can just bet stuff. You can bet all of it if you want. You can bet some of it. You can bet none of it. And just keep trying to build up. There's really, that's the main draw of the game, just building up the pot that you've got. There's no end game. You just play. I suppose if you want to argue that the leveling mechanic and unlocking all the machines is the end game, then you could aim for that. But the whole point is just to have fun, really. Just to spend what you want to spend, win some money back, do whatever you want, really. Stop that. So we'll go back and have a look at some more. So yeah, these are popping up with things again. Like I said, you'll see that quite a lot, so you just have to kind of get used to it. But it does, the frequency that they pop up does sometimes mean that you'll accidentally press on stuff, which does get a little bit annoying. But yeah, you can see the amount of things that you're going to unlock. You can also see how much my experience by it hasn't really moved, even though I just did quite a lot of spins. So the fact that you've got all these, up to level 62 with more coming soon, means that if you do want to unlock everything, you'll be playing it for quite a while, really. Quite a while. But yeah, there's nothing much else to talk about. That's Lucky Slots, and that's Mobile Monday for this week.